This program is brought to you by thepodcastfactory.com.
Canine Crew, it's time to just sell the damn thing. Doberman Dan is revealing his contrarian formula for getting a rush of new customers, building your business faster, and making the highest possible profits. Go to justsellthedamnthing.com to get your copy today.
Prepare yourself for the uncensored, nothing held back, no BS reality of how business and life really work. Doberman Dan is off the chain.
JR, I think I've found the formula for becoming famous online and making a bunch of money.
Finally.
Yeah, finally.
200, nearly 200 episodes in, and you're finally giving us the good stuff. Thank you, Dan.
I finally found it. Now, I got it. This isn't proven. I would have to call this anecdotal evidence. This is just based on observation. By the way, this observation has nothing to do with the topic today. I want to talk about how to double your lifetime customer value, but this observation isn't really related to that. It's just, I keep seeing a bunch of websites, either people who ask to be connected with me on LinkedIn, or I don't know, just keep seeing these websites. And it seems the formula is put a website anointing yourself as a coach and running a mastermind, but you got to be young. Okay. So there's that. It helps a lot if you're good looking and in good shape. And you got to have these photos of you doing all these really exciting things. Like your life has to look damn near euphoric, and you're doing all these exciting things and you're in all these exotic places. And there's got to be like some pictures of you on stage. And the picture of you is like you've got your hands up or, you're pointing at it. So it's some action photo. And yeah, and you're a coach and you run a, $4 billion per year master. It costs $4 billion to get in your mastermind for a year. And I can't really find like what these people, like their backstory, like what did they do before, what qualifies them to be a 24-year-old coach?
Life coach.
Love that. 24-year-old. I think that's the formula for success, but I'm seeing that so often online. Like everybody's a coach and has a mastermind. What I'm wondering is, where are all the people who have a real business that like they sell products and services that are coached by these people and are in the masterminds? Like I'm seeing a real serious imbalance here. Like this explosion of online businesses seems to be coaches and masterminds. Is that just my perception, or is it that way for real?
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I was doing some work on Facebook a while back, and I noticed that everybody, and they had this thing where they're digital nomads and their background picture on Facebook has them on a stage, as you described, with all the people like cheering behind them. And so, I mean, I think the qualifications now to be a coach are you just need to be homeless and know how to use Photoshop.
Well, there you go. There you go, folks. You've just been given the formula for success.
The secret, baby.
The only thing you need to be successful in is getting people to sign up for coaching in your mastermind.
Yeah.
And then what you're qualified to teach them is how to get people to sign up for coaching in a mastermind. You don't need any real business success.
Right.
So
bring
there
the
you
people
go. That's
together.
like a little...
Bring the people together. That's all you have to do.
Exactly. That's all you got to do. That's just a little serendipity. Just gave you the formula for success. It's not.
And I just wasted like my last 10 years online. Thanks, Dan.
I know. I've wasted 30 years of my life trying to start, real businesses that solve problems and sell products to real consumer markets. I didn't know I could just hang out my shingle as a coach, and I really don't need any experience. I just need to, sell $40,000 per month coaching. So there you go. I'll be reinventing myself tomorrow.
About time.
I do want to talk about how to double your lifetime customer value. And I think this is some people are going to find this a bit surprising because it's going to be doing something that you might not have thought of. But the deal is you could be making a lot more money, In fact, with just a few simple little tweaks, you could probably experience exponential increases in your income and
like 10x?
Pretty darn fast. How you ask, JR?
Yes.
I always set you up for those kind of things, Don.
Please do. No, and if you would just wait one more second, I'd be like, how do you do that? You always know I'm thinking that.
Oh, well, let me back up then. Yeah, you could maybe make more money. It only takes a few little tweaks. Period.
How?
Pause.
What are those tweaks? What are those? Dan, I'm curious. Enlighten me.
Well, I'm glad you asked. It's simple. Actually, you just double your lifetime customer value. It's as simple as that. Because you see, doubling lifetime customer value doesn't just double your profits. It causes exponential increases in your net. So listen, everybody, loves the sexy part of business, cracking the code, figuring out, all the components that you need to get in place to get a new customer. And doing that, getting the new customer is the most expensive and least profitable thing you do in marketing. In fact, most businesses online these days actually lose money to get a customer. So if that customer doesn't stick around very long and buy more products, you wind up making little to no money. I know some people with an 8-figure, how should we call it, revolving door. They've got a successful front end promotion and that's all they focused on. And they're hardly making any money. And when that front end promotion dies, they're going to realize they never did have a business. They just had a successful front end promotion. So not exactly the formula for a profitable business, right? But what if you're able to keep that customer sticking around a lot longer and making more purchases, making bigger purchases, all that stuff, making more frequent purchases? That means a whole lot more cashola in your pocket.
Yes, sir.
And lucky for you, I've discovered a few simple and inexpensive things you can start doing right away that can double or maybe even triple your lifetime customer value.
What are they, Dan?
And well, I'm glad you asked, JR. Let's start with the most important yet the most overlooked thing that can increase lifetime customer value. And I'm not sure you'll see this in any of the marketing books, but I'm talking about sincere appreciation. I am utterly amazed at how few business owners express their appreciation for their customers. Why? I don't know. Maybe you didn't realize it, but your customer is the reason you're in business. Without him or her, you very well may be living in a van down by the river. So the customer is it, man. And I see very few business owners truly expressing their appreciation. Like everybody sends thank you emails, right? I mean, like you expect that, don't you?
You should require that.
It should be required, but it's expected. Like everybody does it. So, is it good to do? Sure, it's good to do. It's expected. It doesn't really make an impact. I've had people actually make comments on my thank you email when somebody signs up as a knight in my marketing Camelot. I worked really hard on that thank you email, and I don't know how many different versions of that I wrote. I wrote a lot of different versions and tweaked it and changed things just to try to make an impact. But still, everybody sends an email. So
yeah,
you want to know one of the best ways to show your appreciation that will make much more impact than just a thank you email?
Please tell us.
I'm glad to tell you. It's by sending a humble little, what I call a stick letter.
We forgot the drum roll, dude.
Oh yeah, damn, we need sound effects on this thing. And audience noises.
Yeah, a stick letter.
Stick means for me stick, aka retention. So that is the goal of this letter. and let me explain what a stick letter is. Sadly, many youngins have no frame of reference for this. Now, here are my beliefs about the stick letter. And yes, I'm pretty dogmatic about it. Total pun intended. Doberman Dan, dogmatic, whatever. So ideally, what I like to happen is when somebody places an order with me, that very day, if possible, like if it comes in while my assistant is still working, while my fulfillment center is still open, I want the stick letter going out that very day. Often it will go out even before the product is packaged and shipped. And yeah, and when I say go out, not email. Everybody does email. That's expected. It makes very little impact. This is an actual snail mail letter. And I won't give away all my secrets on this podcast because I've gone into depth into this in a couple different issues of the Doberman Dan letter. That's the newsletter the Knights in my Marketing Camelot get. So I've gone into details about what I think is the best way to send a stick letter and how to send it and what paper to use and what size and all that to really stick out in the mailbox. But it's pretty amazing how well these letters work. And I think there are a few reasons why it works. That the stick letter is actually a sales letter. I mean, it's sent to show your appreciation, but it sells your customer again on why they made the purchase in the first place. So that helps with buyer's remorse, which is one of the biggest cause of refunds. And, obviously helps with stick and lifetime customer value. And it's to let the customer know you really care about them and appreciate their business. That's when somebody signs up in my Marketing Camelot, that's all my stick letter does. It just reassures them they made a good decision, and it expresses my heartfelt appreciation for them. I don't go on to step 3, but my mentor, Gary Halbert, recommended step 3 with your stick letter. And that is offer some sort of special preferred customer deal on, a related product or a back-end product, only available for a limited time, or the deal is only available for, new customers for a limited time. And yeah, I know, am I letting money slip through my fingers by not sending a pitch with my stick letter? Yeah, probably. I think maybe I'm missing out on some now money, but I'm not after now money these days. I'm after relationship. And the main thing I want my stick letter to do is start building that relationship with a new customer. I'm flabbergasted at how many business owners take their customers for granted and they never properly thank them.
Crazy.
When it is amazing when you let your customers know you appreciate them and you do it from the heart, it makes a huge impact. And it also, this stick letter adds one more touch they get from you. Not touch in that way, you prevert.
Yes, it is Jonathan. That way. Touch and make them feel special. Touch them in their special places. You make them feel special.
In the special places. And then you give them a little spanking on the bottom. But especially like there's a honeymoon phase. And I don't know what it is for your business, but in many businesses, it's like the first 90 days of them being a customer. So the more personal touches like that in the first 90 days, the more likely it is that you're just going to build a great relationship with them. You're going to have a better customer you're going to have a higher lifetime customer value.
Happier, more excited. Dude, I stole that idea from you, by the way. When I read that, we put little Post-it notes all over one of those issues you sent out, and we used the stick letter, and then we did not exactly Gary Halbert's number 3. Instead, we started asking for referrals right from the start. By the way, here we're expecting referrals if you're happy, so just know that.
Oh, that's smart. So this is kind of related to the stick letter strategy, but it's not a stick letter. As you know, JR, because you got one of my handwritten letters here recently. Yeah. So this goes along with showing your customers how much you appreciate them. So I've had an epiphany recently. I've had to do some serious thought about my current business, and I've had to admit that for a variety of reasons, I know my business, the Marketing Camelot, is always going to be a boutique business. I highly doubt I'm ever going to have 10,000 people. But yet, in several of my processes, I don't know why, just out of stupidity maybe, or just not taking the time to really dive deep and look at things. I was treating it like a business that has tens of thousands of customers. And I realized, that's really stupid. This is a boutique business, and I can do all kinds of cool stuff, customer segmentation and do, a lot more personal touches. And so what I started doing with the Knights of My Marketing Camelot is every day I send out at least one personal letter. It's a handwritten letter. And I started with the Knights who've been with me the longest, those who've been with me since I first launched, which is going on 8 years. So they've been with me a long time.
Wow.
I just send them a handwritten letter telling them how much I appreciate them. And you got one of those recently, right?
I did. It was my 5-year letter.
Yep. You've been with me a long time. So yeah, I really believe, we don't have time to go into all the quantum mechanics reasons why this makes an impact. But I believe this is some of the most important activities you could do in your business. And here's how important I think it is to send a stick letter. Now, this was a few years ago, but I was in a real hurry to travel to Colombia with my wife, the Colombiana, to visit family there. And at that time, I was personally sending my stick letters out from home. Now the fulfillment center does it because they can do it faster than me, and getting it to my new Knight as fast as possible was a goal. So I let them take it over. But back then I was still doing it, right from my home. And it slipped my mind, that I might get some new Knights while I'm out of the country. And that's exactly what happened. So I insist that it be sent, and it's got a special format, and I insist that it goes out in that format. And so I didn't have any paper with me. And what I did was I went to the Office Depot in Colombia. Yeah, they have those down there. I'm serious. I'm not exaggerating. The Colombiana, my wife, can back me up on this. This is how much of a stickler I am on my stick letters and how dogmatic I am about how they have to be sent. I bought a printer. I had my laptop with me, but I bought a printer at Office Depot, and I bought this specialty paper in these specialty envelopes. Luckily, they had them in Office Depot. I'm finding them harder and harder to get. So, and I printed out these stick letters for these 2 new Knights, and I spent $100 each for each of those guys. Wow. So $200 total just to send one stick letter to US, send another stick letter to Canada via UPS International Overnight from Colombia. So I bought the printer, which was a couple $100, just so I knew they'd be printed correctly. And then I spent an additional $200 to send these UPS International overnight, just to send a simple 1-page stick letter. That's more than they paid that month to become a Knight in the Marketing Camelot. In fact, back then the price was $49 a month. Now it's up to $98. So I spent double what the customer paid me just to ship that letter to him, UPS, not including, the cost of having to buy a freaking printer. That is how important the stick letter is. And no, you simply cannot get the same results with email. It's impossible. I've tested it every way to Sunday. So, here's why I think the stick letter is so effective. Almost nobody does anything like this. It hits the customer completely off guard. Yeah, they expect you to send the product they ordered. Of course, they expect the thank you email, but they sure as hell don't expect a personal letter from the owner telling them from your heart how much you appreciate their business. Of course, I'm simplifying this process for the sake of brevity here. The stick letter is just one part of my entire lifetime customer value increasing strategy, but it's a really important one. And it's working pretty damn well, because last time I checked the stats, I have an average of an 18-month retention on a $98 a month program.
Wow.
Where these guys with most online membership sites charge on $30-40 a month, are having a hallelujah breakdown if they get people to stick for 3 months. So my system is working. And, my stick system when you use it and it's humming along like a finely tuned machine, your lifetime customer value goes way up, possibly doubles, and your profits go through the roof. I've even seen businesses experience a 1,300% increase in sales, like in a really short period of time in only 5 months, when all this stuff was implemented according to my instructions. And like I said, the stick letter is just one aspect of it. If you want to see the whole thing, all you need to do is sign up as a knight at marketingcamelot.com. You'll see the whole process. Currently, this whole stick retention process is a 3-month process. And I think I'll probably be lengthening it out to 4 months too. Plus, on top of that, they get a monthly newsletter and hard copy from me. Again, the psychological effects of that and the effects upon the brain in this, based on MRI studies in the brain, cannot be duplicated by any digital means. Not at all. Nothing digital comes close. So the lesson here is if you're investing a lot of time and money to get new customers, so it doesn't make sense to just invest a tiny little bit more money and time to maximize your lifetime customer value and keep those customers and keep them as long as possible.
Oh, sure.
It makes a difference between just having an okay business that just pays the bills to having some insanely profitable money machine that brings in cashola faster than you ever thought you could spend it. And that is when business is fun. And JR, you're really good at this stuff too. What have you found?
Well, we gotten a ton of referrals, by the way. But when we used to do the newsletter too, our clients used to love that. But anything that we're higher ticket, and so anything that we can do to give our clients an experience, we're going to do. And I've done the same thing you're talking about. I've done those big welcome packages because I was so inspired by your package many years ago. And I wondered how you could afford to do that. And then I realized many years later that you were just losing money when we signed up. I mean, because you send too much stuff. But it makes such an impact. And it's true. People are just not used to being appreciated. And to me, it's so strange. If the person's giving you money and this is helping you run your business and pay your team and live the life you want to live, why wouldn't you appreciate them? And so, dude, I've even done this. I do this for the Podcast Factory. And I even learned, and this I started before when I first met you and I first learned about some of this back end stuff. I started doing that for our residents. Like I do the renewal program by mail, and we've talked about that before. And then when they renew, we send thank you cards and stuff like that, and they can't believe it.
Oh my gosh. They're probably blown away. I've never heard of a landlord doing that.
Duh. That's why we have 0 units available right now.
For my business, and actually I think for many businesses, you used to be able to make it as a transactional business, Give me money, buy my thing, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, have a nice life, bye-bye, lard ass, as Cheech used to say in one of my favorite movies, Up in Smoke. So I think that used to work. Maybe it still works for Walmart. I don't know. But for businesses like mine, that transactional approach or that transactional mindset, actually, I don't think you're going to be very profitable with it. I don't think you'll be able to stay in business very much longer with it. I think it's all about the relationship and doing what needs to be done to build a relationship. And if you're going to do activities to build a relationship, it seems to make sense to do the activities that make the biggest impact. And I'm not against email. I'm all for sending emails, but half your buyers aren't reading your emails. They either aren't getting them or they just aren't reading them. And so if you do want to build a relationship and stay in touch with them and do these things to express your appreciation, you're going to have to find some additional methods to do it. Just email alone ain't going to cut it. A Facebook group alone ain't going to cut it because, not everybody uses Facebook, or just it's to the point where damn near everybody uses Facebook. So it makes very little impact, just like a thank you email. It's expected.
Too much noise.
So you're going to have to find ways to do it. And if you've got a boutique business like mine, I think the stick letter is a great place to start. I've even made phone calls to some of my knights for certain reasons. If they've written me about something or shared a highly personal story, I'll make a phone call. This is, do I get an immediate ROI and payback from these activities? Can I tell you, like, can I actually track the ROI for my stick letter? Nope, I can't. But I can tell you, I don't know anybody with a $98 a month program who has an 18-month average retention. So, I think all this stuff works together. It's just, like I said, it's the difference between that transactional mindset, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and building relationship. And in my business, I truly do appreciate my people. And I think you'll see that I bleed on the page, and I truly do express that from my heart in the stuff I send them, and because I do appreciate them. There's very few people who are attracted to my marketing Camelot, who get it. And they are rare people and valuable people, salt of the earth people, and they are gems. They are not the great unwashed masses, the sheeple. And I really do appreciate them. And I want them to stick around because I love them. And I just wanted to share, a brief strategy that you might want to consider.
Boom. All right. Another Off the Chain show is wrapping up. We'll be back in your earbuds next time. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed today's show. Canine Crew got a special treat for you, what we are affectionately referring to as the Off the Chain Hotline. Tell us you love us. Tell us you hate us. Ask questions. We don't care. Just call 321-424-6043 and give us a piece of your mind.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.